Hi everyone, it's Stephanie here with a video from My Favorite Things. For this video here, we are focusing on the January 2016 release, and I'm going to be recreating this card that was created by design team member Francine, and we're going to be doing some embossing and having some fun with some color burst powders. So this is the new Sketched Blooms stamp set that is part of the January 2016 release, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with a piece of watercolor paper. I am using the smoother side of the watercolor paper. Since we're going to be doing a lot of stamping and embossing, I went ahead and used my embossing powder bag to coat the surface of the cardstock, which is just going to eliminate embossing powder sticking where we don't want it. And then I'm going to go ahead and start my stamping. So I'm using the largest bloom from this set, the open one, and I'm just using Versamark ink to go ahead and stamp this image onto the cardstock piece. Now this is a clear ink, so it's kind of hard to see where you're stamping as you're stamping. So after I did a couple of the flower images, I went ahead and added the embossing powder on top. I'm not going to heat set it yet. I'm just adding the embossing powder every couple of stamped images, which is just going to allow me to see where I've already stamped and help me to eliminate stamping over top of another image by accident. So I'm just going to go ahead and do all of the stamping here. I'm just kind of rotating the flower image as I go, and I'm working from the top left hand corner towards the bottom, and I'm just going to make sure as I do the stamping that I leave the bottom right area open. I don't want anything stamped there, since eventually that's where we're going to put our sentiment. And then once I have all that done, I went ahead and heat embossed it. So now I have all of these flowers heat embossed onto this cardstock piece. Even though you can't quite see them yet, you will see them very shortly once we get all the color added. So I took out all of my color burst powders, and these are just really fun pigment powders that create really fun effects on card design. So I'm going ahead and starting with my darker colors first. So I'm going to use the blue there first, and then the purple, and then I'm just going to kind of work to the lighter colors, which is now going to be the pink. And before I do any more additional colors with the green and yellow, I'm going to add some water, and this is where the magic happens with these powders. You can see here I'm just spritzing it with water, and it just makes that color literally burst out and kind of coat the whole cardstock piece. So these powders are so much fun and create such unique and fun, vivid, colorful effects on card designs. They're a really lot of fun to play with. So I'm going to go ahead and use a paper towel and kind of absorb some of the water from the piece. You can leave it completely how it was and let it dry that way, but I wanted it to be a little bit less saturated, so I did remove some of that water, and now I'm adding some more of the color burst powders to the design. So I added green and yellow, and then I added a little bit more pink to the bottom area. And you can see here as the colors mix together, you get some really fun rainbow effect. And since I'm kind of going in the right order, I'm not getting any muddy colors. I'm making sure that the colors touching one another, if they do mix together, will kind of work and create a nice color versus something that looks like brown or anything like that. So you just kind of want to be mindful of what colors you're using beside other colors as you go. And then I just continued to add water and then use my paper towel to dab away any excess. And then I'm going to go ahead and let this dry. So now here's the finished piece. This is completely dry. You can see the fun rainbow effect we have here. And as all the color dried, we ended up with these great little flower images that we've already embossed. Since they were embossed, they resisted the color and they completely show through. So it's just a really fun effect, and it's created this really beautiful flowered piece that we're going to use in our card design. So now before we assemble the finished card, we want to put the sentiment on. So I just chose the Hugs and Kisses sentiment from the So Much Love stamp set. It's the same image that Francine used on her card, and I just love how it fits so perfectly in this bottom corner. So I went ahead and coated it with black ink and then stamped that into the bottom corner. And that's going to complete the whole cardstock watercolor panel on this card. Now I've just taken a white and black striped cardstock piece from the pattern paper set from My Favorite Things, and I added a small strip onto the bottom of the note card. This is a top folding white note card. And then I'm going to take the watercolor piece, and we're going to adhere this directly over top of this piece so that the little black and white stripe pieces show through. So I've made sure to cut down the watercolor piece short enough that it kind of has an opening at the bottom, which now you can see the stripes will perfectly show through. And then I'm just going to attach that with regular adhesive, and that's going to complete the card design. So thanks for Francine for this month's inspiration, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.